Hi, hello, welcome to the 1111 Divine Lovers series. My name is Serene Priestess, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. This is the 1111 Divine Lovers series, brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. There we go. My name is Serene Priestess of Blessing. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the Aries cycle. And this cast specifically is for the divine cohort of the divine partnership or the sacred union. We're going to do a divine partnership assessment, which is an 11 by 11 card spread. The reason I was a little distracted was because some of the energy already came out. For instance, the Yan energy was already present. So I'm already tuned in, getting some messages here. And it is a secure reading, so I do want to say that. Okay, now that we're settled, just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love and universal oneness. Ho'oponopono, great spirit, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered. We ask that our path be illuminated. We ask that we find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May we be happy. May we be whole. May we be at peace. May we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. Amen. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor to serve. Thank you for allowing us the privilege and the pleasure to do so. Vertex of Abundance is a galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Again, if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button right now. You can always book a consult, send a donation, comment, share, subscribe. We will be imposing the guidance from Pop of Love Oracle. That's by Vibe About It Tarot over on Etsy. We're also using for the guidance to impose the guidance. We're also using Thoth Tarot for the table read here, and that's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris from US Game Systems. If any type of pairing energy comes out, like a matching king or queen, or double this or triple that, even a set, all four cards, we'll be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven Tarot. That's by Lisa Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. And again, we clarify any type of pairing energy with this. And then lastly, maybe not lastly, but we'll talk about it at the time that it comes up. We'll be using the Vita Sibila Daily Oracle for further deliberation of findings. And we use this deck by Los Carabello to clarify any type of combinatory or correlative energy. Let's begin. So we're coming in with some massive action, and it may not show up in the physical right away. The massive action may be one-sided. Okay, so we got a full reading here. So it may be one-sided. What do I mean by that? We may not know that someone's making plans, making moves because either a couple few things. They're coming out of some type of binding. It may be spiritual manipulation, energy projection type of binding. It may be stinking thinking, ideological type of binding. It may be issues where they're coming out of some type of hardship, or they're surviving or resolving some type of degradation, destabilization, debilitation, forced change. Again, I have to say binding because when the Five of Pentacles and or the Three of Swords for the Mystery School students comes out with the Devil card, it definitely can be some binding energy. Now, the Devil here is a little bit dissipated because we have Earth sign for the Court card. So this Five of Pentacles could just mean somebody's feeling left out, maybe even abandoned or exiled. It can also be that somebody is preparing to make some kind of changes, or they're beginning to learn about practical skills through having a lack. Necessity is the mother of all invention, and innovation is a close cousin. Now, I was talking about this massive action, that's the King of Wands. We also have, and this is more on our side, so we may be experiencing something from last November, December, because that was like a Sagittarius corridor. Also, somebody here specifically watching the reading could have a Pisces rising. Somebody here could have a sun in the ninth house or sun in Sagittarius. We also have a matching King and Queen of Cups. So that's Bishert, that's beloved, that's fated to meet. We're hearing two of hearts, two hearts that beat as one. Okay, I'm gonna break out in song and dance because I love that song. So we have a matching and a pairing already. Let me put this here so I don't forget. So we spend a little bit extra time when we just come in because that kind of sets up the energy. So we're coming from massive action towards attending or emotional attunement, and we're moving into receiving clearance or receiving grace here because there's been some hardship. I feel and I hear and I'm starting to sense a softening of the heart. And I'm hearing this song by Roisin Murphy. Don't you remind me? And the lyrics go on, don't you remind me, I never loved you blindly. I knew you better, much better than that. And it feels like something's coming through from a previous lifetime. Because out the gate, we already start with a bad seed among others. That's this temperanza I'm hearing. So, Strigada Benedaria, Brujaria Santeria. If we're agnostic, that's a different technology. But if we're culturally inclined, that would be it. When you have the devil and the temperance card, it's a bad seed among others. Now, clarification here or context. This was already prepared. This was secured out of the Libra daily terrible thing. So right now for the Aries season, the moon transited the seventh house and I unlocked this reading here. It actually is coming out early. It's being recorded earlier than usual. I know this comes out around the 17th, 18th, maybe even 16th. The Friday after the new moon is when the 1111 Divine Lover series comes out for the Divine and the Twin Flame and the True Connection Cohort. So I unlocked this somewhere between the 1st and the 3rd of April. And the date of this recording is the 30th of March. And what we discovered was that there was a person in the environmental location, a peripheral, perhaps third party. They didn't have to be intimately involved with our person, whoever we're connected to. It seemed like a friend or somebody attached to our person. There's no Nine of Swords here, so it's not a demonic attachment. However, it's a binding energy. It might have been ideological as well. They might have just been, okay, I'm hearing low down dirty and basic. That doesn't make sense and feels a bit inappropriate, but that is what I'm hearing. They might have, well, the word is misattribution, but they might have taken it as they see it. They might have shot from the hip. They might have, put foot in mouth, acted too quickly. And that kind of got in the mind, in the heart of whoever we're connected to. And it's from the past. They worked through some ideological framework that the friend or the person peripherally fed into them, gave them like a bit of a contagion. And now they're coming out of it. So when we discovered that, we got this Five of Pentacles, and that very much is an ideological thing. There's a couple cards where you have some stinking thinking, but the difference about the Five of Pentacles means that energy got incorporated into your life because like you operated under the assumption and it declined the matter so much. So it's uh, uh, it's better than the Five of Wands because that's fumbling. But the thing about the Five of Wands is you can recover from that quickly. Yeah, there's a karmic lesson. You might be a little bit embarrassed. It does touch the ego. This touches the pocketbook or this touches the life. Literally, you have to go without prayer to God or the divine. Now, when we have these two cards together, the King of Wands with the Devil, what that actually gives you is a little bit of a bigot. And I mean, a five is present. So with the Page of Pentacles, if it's in the reverse, which you can't just say with the Devil, however, we have a five here, so we can say that the Devil and the five are any three, five, seven, or nine of spades can give any other card around it a reversal, meaning an inversion. So in the inversion of the Page of Pentacles, meaning Page of Pentacles reverse could mean flippant, flagrant, frivolous, lacking self-worth and value. Five of Pentacles is here. That would be a child that's not receiving enough positive, affirmative feedback. There's two types of feedback, adjusting and affirming. Affirming is positive, adjusting is negative critique, essentially. On our end, there's a little bit of healing. On this other end, there's oppositional energy where they've had to learn, they've had to grow from looking at the exact opposite side of the scale on multiple different facets, on multiple different subjects, on multiple different times or occasions. Okay. So AB got said, okay, well, they had to go all the way to XYZ just to understand if ABC was true, was valid, was viable. Somebody said the sky was blue. Well, they had to go outside and check to see because they would have been fully under the assumption that the sky was purple or gray. You know, somebody said two plus two equals four. Well, they were under the assumption that zero plus negative nine equaled four. So they had to go and check and get in the history books, the science books, the religious books, just to know for sure. Now, of course, that's dramatizing an idea, but it's saying like they had some kind of operator that wasn't maybe malignant, malicious, malevolent, perhaps didn't have a malicious intent, but something they were doing was not conducive. Okay. So again, when you have this devil with the Queen of Cups, it actually means, okay, so we're dealing with Aries energy, Aries season, Aries rising, even. When you have this devil with the King of Cups, you could be dealing with, okay, a Libra rising, a Libra season, a Libra energy. Now, also, it could mean that somebody appeared to be not the right thing, meaning they got in, expectations were given, potential was looked at, but they didn't live up to it. There might have been an expectation of some type of closeness, warmth, trust, vulnerability, truth. That's intimacy. It wasn't given. In the past, someone might have come kind of barreling forward, ready to lay it down, throw it around, sling some of that, and that might not have been the way to approach, honestly, because it did need to be spiritual. And then a withdrawal happened. Needing to withdraw, wanting to withdraw happened for the purpose of healing, to move on, to move forward with clarity. See, this was an energy Six of Swords where we were only going to move forward when we were received grace and when we had clarity, meaning calm emotional waters, because still waters run deep. You're not going to be throwing around all the distractions on the surface of the water. I can't even see below what's going on. I can't even see my reflection staring back at the surface of the water and the reflection. That's not going to happen. Ni going to happen. That's not going to work. And so we kind of said, pause, pause, pump, pump. Let me hit the brake for a moment. And on the other side, whether it was directly the person, meaning the person that could, we're the first party, the person we're involved with is the second party, this friend would be the third party. The second party involved, whoever we're connected to, looked at that being like, okay, you wish you watch it. What's up with this or that? Now I'm confused. My feelings aren't right. And instead of coming around and getting clarity or spinning the block and confirming or circling back and investigation, examination, curiosity, they talked to their friend about it, and their friend swung the hammer. Expletives, bigotry, sour. Now we have a lot of clarification here. Let's not spend too much time. I do need to know what this. Okay, we got a double tap here. Yeah, so the friend was, or this third party was somewhat, contrived is the word. Not maybe superficial, definitely not deep and insightful. The opposite of that. The opposite of authentic. And there is an energy here of wanting, hoping, wishing, praying, but from a good place of worth and value. Because we've been solid and consistent this whole time. However, until the situation gets attended to, might have thought that they're not going to know this for sure. There needs to be a shift, an evolution of how we're seen. And that is going to happen. Eight of Cups, it happens after the fact, though. Some kind of time magic has to come through, or just, hindsight. Yeah, I knew you'd find that note someday. That song, the closing of the door. So I wrote down all the things that I couldn't say. Somebody is trying to get something off their chest, and they're looking back and they're seeing things, or understanding things, or sensing things, or something's making sense that didn't before. Because this was a great source of power. Now we have a matching pair here. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Usually the power couple was the King of Wands, Queen of Wands. So this is a heaven sent, a kingdom energy. We were connected in the divine. We're already connected as souls. The twin flame union is here, but in the spiritual, not the physical. We don't have a four of wands. So the spiritual version, the spiritual meat is the temperance. Great source of power. The dream team of change, highly influential agents of change. Reunion creates exponential growth. So, sometimes that does happen when we're really excited about something. People ask us two or three questions, and we don't have the answers. And so our enthusiasm just gets pushed down, pushed back, ignored, overridden, bypassed, dismissed. And that might have happened on the other side because intuition is here, justice, balance is here. But see, on the periphery, yeah, on the periphery, it's glutinous gossip. Somebody's running their mouth. I'm an idiot. I spoke about our connection as if it was trivial. Oh my gosh. As I was saying, I love my job here. I really said it. I called it. I did not respect the sanctity of our connection. Instead of keeping things between me and you, I allowed others to intervene, interfere. Now they're in outer turmoil. Battles, arguments, unnecessary conflicts, feels that their world is falling apart. Physical world filled with chaos, confusion, destruction. Feels like their world is falling apart, literally. I feel like my life is falling apart and I do not know what to do. Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong. But the one thing that felt right was you. Okay. So that was wonderful. We did a good job there figuring out. Now we started the reading. Let's speed it up here. Excuse me. So one thing that I'm clear on is that we have a purging energy coming through. Whatever that is, however that looks like. That again, this is not getting any better. This could be some lies here or malicious intent. There also could be a Cancer rising. Right now, we have the energy of a Scorpio rising, the death card with the Knight of Cups. The Magician plus the Devil, though, can be malicious intent, lies, whatever, what have you. Things were said in the past that come back to haunt now. This heart is burdened. I'm a lot with Fidelta. Somebody's heart is sick, somebody's love sick or heart sick or whatever, what have you. So on and so forth, ad nauseam and infinitum, etc. The problem will go away. It's chronic and persistent here because it's love, it's real love. It might not be acknowledged, it might not be even called that. Somebody might not have heard, felt, worked it through, pinpointed the feeling, but I'm gonna say right now, it's love. It's love. We got a double Mercury here too. Eight of Wands with the Six of Swords. So really things need to get moving. Adelante. It's about fumbling, the delirium, la matrice. Our feelings are not clear to the other person. They might think that la da da yada yada, we're not on the same page or we don't have the same feelings or bambino. There's so much more to grow here. They just need to get the word, get the message. The thing about this conversazione, the universe of the spirit team is going to do something. They're going to work it out, work it out. Now, this is also losing patience, losing temperance, the death with the temperance card. That's really losing patience, no longer thinking long term, needing it to work out now or not at all. Yeah, I'm a lot, and they fell out face down. Yeah, so they're suddenly going to say something, send a message, do whatever. There will be some investigation on our end as well, but it's more like a discovery. And I feel like we're in this discovery energy right now. There's also the end of communication here. And what looks like is maybe an apology or the need to move forward to get to higher ground here. The desire, night of withdrawal. That can be ascent as well. The Eight of Cups, because this massive action is about getting things going in swiftness. So I don't think it's the desire to withdraw. I think it's the desire to get things maybe not even going, but get things to a higher ground. We have a double eight here. So two eights, we do have the positive eights. So which only all eights are positive unless they come out of combination that might mean something especially. This here, however, says that there was enough time spent thinking about this. So we're going to receive an apology or a token of affection. The page and the ace of cups. If somebody really wants or needs to move things on, move things forward, and we have a king and queen here. So there's that power couple. We have a king and queen here with the page and ace of cups that have been carrying something for a long time. This energy is very strong. So we need to know what's going to get going. Something's going to speed up. Yeah, we're going to get to the same page, be of the same mind. Something's going to start pretty soon. Because now here's the deep, authentic love. It's no longer controversial. However, it's something's got to be put to bed. It's something from the past. It's going to come back. And it's after that connection, the third party to our connection gets back. So there will be some type of conscriptive or something in the right order, the right way will come through because a chapter's ending here. Now, we might need to, this is hard to read because it's reading one way, but I'm getting another thing. So I'm getting that we need to go back to a community. Now, there's so many ways to look at that. We might need to go back to places that we've stopped doing. We might need to get a new lease on life. So just get into new communities. Something about that is going back. What does that mean? We have a double ace here, and a double ace is another partnership card. So we've had another pairing. Two aces means union, twin flame. And it started out with, ah, it started it started out with temperance, and now we have twin flame. Okay, so and it came out in reverse, which means talks about the narrative. I recognize our connection was intense, and it still burns my soul. It is a connection that can never be broken, but is one that must be balanced in order to move forward together. Okay, so what we're getting here is it says third party in karma, karmic partners, third party, winter. So something's drying up, something's on the way out. And you know what the intuition is saying? That we're so magical, we're such a unicorn that the sparkles got up and underneath something that was already karmic. And I'm not feeling like we're in a, maybe the situation is karmic. I don't think we're holding on and keeping on because that is what makes it karmic. You can meet your person and not be able to be with them in the moment you become attached and enmeshed instead of letting the energy flow to its high vibrational outcome. That can turn a catalytic, or that can turn a soulmate, or that can turn a twin flame into something karmic very quickly. Also, pride and ego, that could turn, well, that's ego is pride. Pride and envy can turn something karmic really quick too. The way that these read is fourth, fifth, sixth dimension. Also, this reads perimeter, periphery, precipice. So on the precipice is something dying out. Nothing is going to be there in terms of resources. Unless this is talking about what happened back during the winter. So it would have been July, August, September for the southern hemisphere. For the northern hemisphere would have been December, January, February. You can also talk about the archetype of winter because it is talking about reverse, and it is talking about, it is the reverse, and it's talking about the archetype of winter. So during the winter, things get barren. Things are no longer fruitful. You need to plan, you need to prepare, you need to be conscientious and intentional. Here's third party situation, and it's not talking about a narrative. I honestly feel like it's the narrative that's coming through is that somebody, third party, said something, did something, interfered in some way, maybe trying to be helpful, maybe with more selfish intent. Perhaps it was a malicious intent. I've tried my darndest not to get very strong with the this person is an obstacle. Karmic partner, though, they might be attached to somebody, a friend, doesn't have to be a lover, that is blocking them. That's the thing. And it started out with the devil on their side and the temperance on our side. So we're healed and perfected, and they're in the devil energy. And then it gets to the magician. The magician plus the devil together mean a liar, malicious intent. Then when you have the Hierophant on top of that, it could mean that there was some type of spiritual projection, energy manipulation, or that they brought some order over chaos. But what happened is they had to get new energy. I'm looking at how it mirrors. So this could mean multiple things. I've read three different examples here. There might have been some malicious intent. Somebody in their life was attached to them, didn't want to let them go, didn't want to see them get bigger and brighter and better. That can scare a lot of people that are bottom of the barrel, petty, basic. Somebody might have felt pedantic, myopic. Somebody might have felt like they were being withdrawn from, left out, exiled, abandoned even. This energy is like a little bit of a raider where they're going to come in splashing around like a cowboy, getting their way, not thinking about the other person or forcing their will. There's another version of this where it's just friends that are outgrowing each other. Karmic partners turbulent with plenty of highs and lows, red flags, codependency, and arguments. Miscommunication. They test us and our understanding of love and relationships. Third party. Feeling betrayed and second guessing self worth, main character or the side piece, another person got in the way of the relationship. Okay. So there's that. A little bit more energy on this pair of aces. Partnership. Yeah, so receiving anointing, a double five, a triple five. Uh-oh. So that is anarchy. Two fives is chaos, three fives is anarchy. It's saying that there might have been a frenemy, whether it was love, hate, a little bit envy, maybe it was a little bit more malicious intent, the desire to block, the desire to bind, to strip, to debilitate somebody from moving on, moving forward. There is a feeling here in the future where this energy was feeling jealous. Now, the jealousy was towards us. They were competing with us, even though we're not that deeply connected to this third party, if there is a third party at all. There's this energy here of binding. It's come back yet again. And since we have the magician combined with the Hierophant, that can mean a low level, which I'm not getting good things here, falsita. There's energy, because I'm hearing a narrative and it's not, wow, this has gone somewhere. I'd like to keep it clean, but let's just move through this little dark part. What I'm getting is we are attached to somebody, or we are in a connection to somebody that didn't understand our self-possessive nature, the fact that we were free and unencumbered, the fact that the moment it got chaotic without clarity, we were going to gain some space. It's fine if things are a little turbulent with strong clarity, with a strong intention. We might support somebody through that as long as we're not taking on their karma. But we were being asked to support something or to show up to something that really didn't have a clear intention. We didn't know how they feel. They didn't declare their intentions. They were something of that nature. There was also a third party in the situation where we might have been catching some weird energy and we just weren't going to put up with that. We weren't going to participate with that. There were things up in the way. On some of our sides, not all of us, on some of our sides, there was spiritual manipulation, energy projection, whether directed at us or whether we caught it because we are truly, genuinely a soulmate, truly, genuinely connected to somebody. The energy might have been projected towards them and we caught some of it. Now, the way that it goes in the connection is if somebody is directly trying to compete with us, if they project energy on the person in the connection who's less healed, that's actually the way to invite some of the energy into our life. Because they couldn't one-on-one direct to our face or along our path project the energy at us because we had the temperance right out the gate. That means we got our angel wings or we were spiritually perfected or we were high vibrationally enough where the energy would kind of flow off like Teflon. However, if they caught the tether, if they caught the one that we're connected to, they projected the energy at the person that we're connected to, that energy could still make its way to us. Okay, so there's a couple of different things here that could have been going on. It's the same energy. I mean, it's the same vibration for all of us, the energy is going to manifest according to the details and circumstances in our lives. So definitely different strokes, different folks. But we're looking at a triple five here, and we just had a double eight. It's still here on the board. So listen, the thing to do is intercession, because the five here always talks about intervention. We should pray, Queen of Cups, because that energy will flow to type of vibration and outcome. Okay, that's the truth. Because the karmic cycle is wrapping itself up. 10 of Wands. Now, somebody may be a Scorpio rising. It's the second time we got that, so definitely a Scorpio rising. Somebody may also have their Venus in Taurus or the second house. Okay. So the thing with Taurus energy, especially when it comes to relationships, they're very kind of direct. And I'm not talking about Taurus sun sign, I'm talking about Taurus Venusian energy. They're very embodied. If they're sensing something in the environment, they're just going to say it. Yeah, so there was actually some witchcraft. It's been confirmed. Because the eights are sticking around, and you have the witch and the priestess, or the spirit witch and the born witch. And so this is, yeah. Because the thing is this, we just keep getting blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed, but it's solo blessings. A new achievement here, the Fool with the Sun, a new accomplishment, actually, not achievement. So yeah, and because we this other side is distressed and it fell out face down because they're trying to please people. They're trying to be supportive to everybody around them instead of directly coming towards us, Viaja. They're not making movements. They're people pleasing. They're making people happy instead of making movements. Let's check on this. So not everybody is culturally inclined with witchcraft or spell work, or I get that. If you're agnostic, what it would mean is that there's domineering and pressure. Somebody's being pressuring another person. Friends do that sometimes. Hey, get over that person. You're thinking about them too much. Look at how sad you are, or whatever. That's pressure. Instead of being like, hey, what's your intention with this? Help me understand. Help me feel better. What are your needs? What are your intentions? How does this serve you? Help me understand what dwelling about this person does for you right now. That's different than, hey, get over that guy. Stop worrying about it. I don't want to say it's dismissive and it's bypassing and it's overriding. It sometimes can be. What I do know is that this person that we're connected to, they feel very precious to whatever group that they inhabit, whatever their friends groups or whatever their support network is. They feel very precious. And this third party is seen as a keeper of wisdom. But later on, they discover that the advice and the wisdom nearly destroyed something very precious here. And they understand that something that was said, probably on our end, the real true meaning of it, because it was taken as whatever. Now, somebody here could be a Leo, they could have their sun in the fifth house, they can have their sun in Leo, or during the Leo season, something's going to happen. But what we want over here, what we want is fulfillment. King of Cups, Ten of Cups, we want fulfillment. Somebody over there, though, they could have with the Ace of Wands and the Strength card, they could be Mercury and Leo. They could be Leo North Node. That's a very magnanimous energy and a very passionate. They shoot from the hip, not shoot from the hip, but they're passionate. They lead with the heart. And that's a persuasive energy as well. Okay, we've had all four eights come out. That's a very big red flag. There's been a couple times here where we've had a double eight. And still this whole time we haven't had we if we made an offer, it was questioned, deeply questioned, almost blocked. And the offer doesn't have to be direct intimacy. It could be to connect and see where the vibe is and where it goes. I need to check on these eights because there's too many. We have a double narrative here. It's binding work. And I'm just going to tell you there's a mechanism I have trained into my divination to alert me to what we call magic. I just say spiritual manipulation, energy projection. That trigger has happened. I'm just going to put it like that. So initially, we were supposed to be blessed with an offer that was going to grow into a very long term commitment and some type of proposal. Okay. Even when everything was said and done and there were delays that were going to be corrected, somebody was going to come with an apology and an offer binding. Now, let's look at the interference here. Okay, well, what that's done is given the interferer, the interloper, is given them consequences. It's a bit of a backfire that hasn't backfired yet. However, we do have chaos and some a karmic lesson here. So there's rules, regulations, restrictions. That's what's come in now. There's an Aries here, some type of beautiful destiny or Aries where we're destined to come into some type of inheritance. It doesn't always mean cash money dollar bill, but a legacy or a blessing or a transfer of a storehouse comes to us. Right now, there's either a decision or a blocked road. There's the need to deliberate. Things are evolving to being worked out, but a lot of time and energy has gone into this. A double eight means rumination, vacillation, oscillation. It could also mean manipulation, time and indulgences, spell work, all of that. This is something that's come out over the last two moons as well. But see, the deepest soul need is calling out here with the moon and the judgment. And this karmic lesson, 501s, is being canceled out, 10 of swords. That sorceress, which already came up in the clarifiers, they're now looking at a blockage. Eight of swords. There's rule, regulation, restriction. And again, there's a double eight here. Fell out face down, it's about the other side. So all the time, energy, effort, and attention that's gone into this, all the time and indulgence has brought somebody to the fact that there's something here in terms of feelings that just hasn't gone away or dissipated. Somebody's feeling content, somebody's feeling Like their wishes and dreams are in their hand. Like making this offer is their deepest heart's wish. Now, again, there's some things getting here. There's just a lot. First of all, Saturn in the 12th house, Saturn in Pisces. So there could be, if there is spiritual projection, energy projection, spiritual manipulation, it could be what's going on behind our back, over our head, out of our hands. It could be trying to add some type of karma on, pile some type of karmic expense onto us. We could probably navigating something that's in the dark, and the way to get out of it is just to withdraw, detach, understand impermanence, move on, move forward. Somebody also here could be Pisces, Sun in the 12th house, Pisces Sun. Also a Gemini rising. So Sun in the 12th house means our ego dies. Whatever we hope, wish, pray, drive for, either in the cycle or in this life, gets realized on the other side when we transition to whatever's next after this life. Now, there's another interpretation here. Since we have some indicators, when you have the moon and you have the judgment, it means something is getting solved, judgment from a previous life, moon card. And that does feel true because there's something being canceled out, a breakthrough after a breakdown. Ten of Swords. And if this other side's been going through a karmic lesson and right now they're finally understanding why some of the blockages have been here, they're realizing that their drive, desires, passions, motivations were stepped on. They let other people get in the way of living their own dreams. They might have needed to stand up or have a little courage, strength, courage, or wisdom in the face of people pleasing or whatever. All of that's coming through. So it's going to be different just for different folks. It's the same vibration, but different energy manifestation according to how we've ordered our lives. Now, there's one other thing being mentioned here. There is some type of Gemini rising for sure, and we have somebody probably who's Gemini rising with Sun in the first house. That's a strong identity. Sun in the first house. If it were Gemini rising, it takes a lot for them to go underneath the surface. So they call it as they see it, whatever's on the surface. That's what it is. And they're fine with contriviality. They go really, really quick and move on. They might not have had the chance or the moment or the opportunity to see what's beneath. And so when they do get brought back around, a lot of time has gone and probably some things have slipped through the cracks or fallen out of the hand. Something's going to be happening over the next week. And whenever the week from when this video comes out, it's being recorded quite early. There needs to be an investment laid, and there probably has been already, actually, since this page is here. The page is feeling strategic, like there's an agenda here. And this queen says, well, I need the seeds that planted to yield. I need to invest in things that are gonna, I need to prepare or lay a groundwork. And the desire here is to close out a cycle fully, or the desire here is for a breakthrough. Because on our end, we're fine withdrawing. However, there may also be some type of Pisces rising finally. There also could be Venus in the sixth house, Venus and Virgo. So Venus and Virgo could be particularly detached. We also have a Virgo moon. So Virgo moons are detailed oriented. they're not overly critical like the Venus or Virgo, but do need to understand fully, and they see a lot of flaws easily. That sounds pessimistic, but not for the Virgo moon. See, Virgo Venus is debilitated. Since Venus is exalted and Pisces is actually at its fall. Excuse me, did I say that? Yeah, I did. It's actually at its fall in Virgo. So when Venus is in Virgo, it's really difficult to get all that, closeness and intimacy, really warmth. So if you're anything other than intellectual words of affirmation in the connection with the Venus and Virgo, it's difficult. There's also something here that's about the public eye or being, of service. It's interesting here. Something here is public. Well, it might be about the theme. I'm not feeling that though. What this is saying is that on the face of it, it looks like it's friends. And honestly, it's actually saying that their friend may have a little something, a crush on them. We may be dealing with a Mars in the 11th house of Aquarius rising. So a karmic cycle is wrapping itself up, and that's for this person that we're connected to. For us, hindsight is near. We're going to understand what went down, but after the fact, because again, we are feeling withdrawn. And what we want is to move on, move forward. Our intuition, we might even be wanting to move. But you see, when this groundwork gets laid, things do start to move. We're not the ones trying to lay this groundwork, however, from a few things. I'm curious about this karmic cycle on the other side. So whomever we're connected to, they had to find something out, and it would have to be in the depths of their heart and their soul. They had to work through a situation. And they might also have to believe in some type of promise. I'm curious about this groundwork that's getting laid. Okay, so they put energy and time into something so steady where they're longing. Suddenly something changed around, and they actually see I feel like they might actually see that if their heart is telling them something that they need to listen to it and not let the logical mind of the people around them interfere. That's what this is giving. Because the truth is going to come out and it's going to come out hardcore. That's always, 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 always the case with the Tower and the Justice card. I mean, the only other interpretation for that would be some type of Mars energy in Libra. And that's not the best place for Mars, Libra. Libra is fair and it takes other people's needs into account, and Mars is driven. It doesn't want to stop, be slowed down. It doesn't want to group process. It doesn't want to co-regulate. It's not about that. Again, with the clarifications, man. Whew. So again, this karmic cycle is gonna, whomever we're connected to, is gonna bring a lot out for them. I like that for them. It's gonna bring us some type of beloved message too, which is great. But again, we're feeling detached. And that was the right thing to do. That was detaching from the situation really brought the karma to the fore. We needed to allow the whatever wound that we had to be processed. I have a feeling if we come back around or we run into somebody and they ask us, hey, what happened? And we tell them the truth, listen, I felt some kind of way about it. I needed to work through my feelings because they were hurt or they were mad or they were whatever, and nobody's responsible. I just needed to process and put it to bed. That's going to shake somebody. It might be through the grapevine, or it might be directly to the person that it gets mentioned to. But that's one thing. I'm getting other things, so let's keep going here. It's almost like we had to mourn grief. No, we had to grieve. Mourning happens after grief. We had to grieve. Excuse me. I apologize. No, we had to mourn. Grieving happens after mourning. Grief never really goes away. Mourning is the period after the loss. Excuse me. I'm conflating things. We had to mourn. And then when we're accessible again, or when there's a run in, we tell them, listen, I have grief about it, so I want to leave it behind. And that was exactly it. Because it'll always leave a dark spot in history. And somebody's like, oh no, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I would have totally got on that 100%. I would have went after that like you don't even know. And then it comes to find out somebody that was on the periphery was not malicious intent, but they were adversarial. They were competing. They were going about things the wrong way, different way, talking too much, doing too much, saying too much, shucking and jiving, and all of that, and then some. So that grief will produce something, and that is usually the fifth stage of grief. Acceptance doesn't mean you accept the loss. That'll always, it's like a phantom limb. It'll never go away. However, you can make meaning of it. And that's not something you want to tell somebody in grief. It's kind of like trying to teach somebody how to swim while they're drowning. Mid experience is not the time to inform and instruct. It's the solution is not always the answer, and it might not even be your place to say. And honestly, don't be tone deaf or emotionally insensitive. However, this is what we're being told, that we're going to mourn, or we did mourn, and then when we move into grief, which is part of that is acceptance, that creates some kind of movement. Now, the position that we're in is not trying to go back to any place where we caught live fire, where there was some type of damage, collateral, intentional, or otherwise. If somebody fumbled or somebody was insensitive or somebody had access and they didn't, capitalize on that, we're really fine. They did what they did. We felt how we felt. The experience was what it was, and we're ready to move on. And that's part of this karmic lesson. We may not accept whatever offer comes through. They may have to take those lessons to the next relationship. And for some of us, we will accept whatever they're offering. Because there's a proposal coming, and it might not be a marriage proposal. There's a proposal of like, hey, how about we try again? Or hey, why don't we try and see? Or because when this discovery comes on their side, the situation changes. The situation changes majorly. And us sharing how hurt we were literally is like Cupid's arrow for the other person. It brings love to our door. Like boom, data. There you go. Now, 10 of Wands means clarification as well, because we got a lot of Saturn energy. Okay, double narrative, triple narrative here. Three cards. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, so this karmic cycle that they're going through really put them in the thinking. Because when they look back on the situation and then they understand what the foresight was telling them and how they chose to ignore it, ooh, 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 ooh. Because we're going to actually say, listen, I was really open with my heart and now I'm feeling kind of spiteful. Like, I don't want to let you near me just because the day ends in a Y and the sky is blue. Just because the grass is green and I can choose to do that, I'm going to choose to do that. It's like that. We're just like, because I don't need a reason. And that's just one of those things. And on this other side, whomever we're connected to, it's a maturity thing. Even if they're grown and grown, part of that is learning to think for themselves because they were crowdsourcing their decisions. And you don't do that when it comes to love. Maybe when you need a reality check, but it wasn't reality check time. And this is something that's going to appear within 6 weeks. It's almost like the moon needs to sweep something away. But there is a delayed victory here. And we have the terms and conditions. Firstly, we have another alliance here, a double king. Two of Cups came. That's darn. And I do want to say, I'm just going to tell you, a little bit of this energy is queer. Um, it's come up twice. So part of the issue might have been, I don't even want to say closet. Sometimes if you're new, because it did call somebody Giovanni Fantula the Virgin, it doesn't mean chaste, it means inexperienced. Something here might have been new, brand spanking new for somebody that didn't know how to navigate, that didn't know how to operate, and they balked at the moment. There was a little bit of fear. But that feeling was persistent. It even compounded, doubled down, tripled down, spun the block, circled around, came back for them hardcore, hardcore. The feeling didn't go nowhere, but the courage did. The courage was doing the little hot seat dance. So there's two cups combined with the six of cups, which means reunion and beshert. Very tender, very heartfelt, very soulmate. Three of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Working it through, working it out, working on the offer because Ten of Wands. This has been a deep, deep, deep karmic lesson and journey. So the sacrifice to make is that we're going to have to be a little bit loving and caring and kind, even though we're feeling prickly and we are feeling hurt. Um, we want to remove access. We want to impose terms and conditions because the thing that we want the most is to withdraw from the situation. We don't want any exposure whatsoever. Now, there is a Cancer Sun here. For some of us, it's going to be Libra rising. For some of us, this is going to be Sun in the fourth house. Sun in the fourth house is a person who wants to protect. And that's actually the only thing that brings them to, stirs them to action. That they're best in creative spaces or places where there's one-on-one or intimate spaces, private. They don't want anything in public. They don't want anything loud on blast. It's not even about the download or whatever. It can very well be. That's not what it's about, though. It's about they're better from the home, or they're better with the family unit, or they're better in sacred spaces, or they're better when it's creative, or they're better when we're conserving resources instead of expending energy. And that's interesting because we got Sun in the 12th house, Sun in the 4th house, Sun in the 8th house. Those are the private, secret, and discreet houses. It's literally privacy, secrecy, discretion, 4th house, 8th house, 12th house. I do find that interesting. Now, I didn't give that order. First, I gave the 8th house. Excuse me. First, it gave the 12th house. Then it gave the 8th house. Now it's giving the 4th house. So that was discretion, secrecy, privacy, in that order. It's relevant for somebody that did come through. Okay, I was trying to pull on this delayed victory, but what it gave me was energy about this Cancer sun, or sun in the 4th house. So this is the house, and the 4th house is the house as well. Kaza usually here means like a fortress. What's kept dear, what's kept secret, what's kept, not always secret though, what's protected, or what requires access. Like you need to be invited or let in or build it yourself or something like that. And this is the thing that matures over time, La Vecchia Senora, unless there's a wise woman around. We don't have another woman talking here. So the thing that matures over time is the reunion. Now, this is just running into somebody. It's not always the love. I want to move forward, but there's something still coming through. Unless it makes itself known, I gotta call it. Oh, okay. So we still need to see what this delayed victory is, and the Cancer thing is saying it was always going to need the situation to mature. It was always going to need to feel safe and to feel comfortable. It was never going to be chaotic. It was never going to be confusing. It was never going to be intense. And if it was, it just wasn't going to come together. There was not going to be any starting things off on that. And that reminds me, God don't bless no mess. That's what they say. It's a colloquialism, meaning if it comes in karmic, if it comes in confusing, if it comes in chaotic, it's not from the divine. So there was, and sometimes it doesn't mean that that's in your life or that's in the life of the person you're connected to. Sometimes it means it's the third party, or that if that were to manifest, it would be stomped on. And if it's that sacred and that special, the environment surrounding location needs to be just as clean as the heart of the two that are in the connection. Now let's check out this delayed victory, because it's two-sided. On our side, it's going to be surprising, or it's the solution to anything that's already problematic, or problems come to something that's already serene. The thing that is here is that we've had this loyalty from somebody, and that might be new to us. That might be something that we didn't see. Because what's being talked about is the despair that somebody is feeling when this whole time we've been posted up. It may not be clear how precious this is to one of us. Okay, now lastly, somebody desires victory. So somebody really wants to make this work, and what they want to make work is the love. So I think it's a solution, because see how the tower disgracia is behind the fidelta? It means that it already happened. That the I just heard it already blew up. Put it that way. There was after a breakdown, they might fight with the third party. After that breakdown comes foresight, hindsight, and some cohesive event. Okay, so we've gotten, we still have a double king. However, now it's combined with the emperor. So somebody may have Mars in the first house, Mars in Aries, Aries rising. Somebody may have Mercury in the first house, Mercury, the North Node in the first house, um, Mercury in Aries, North Node in Aries. There may also be a Sagittarius rising here. There may also be Sun in the third house, Sun in Gemini or Virgo rising. That already talked here. So it seems like this third party, to be honest, um, they get discovered because what happens is the person that we're connected to listens to what their friends are saying. They stop talking about their feelings, and then months later, their feelings come back and they start talking about their feelings again. And then the third party kind of blows up. Their response is disproportionate. And that gets the person that we're connected to thinking. And we have to go all the way to the end because the Lover's card finally came out with the Emperor. So in a reading, sometimes they'll be short, sometimes it'll be long because all four pieces of the twin flame soulmate needs to come out. So you need the Emperor and the Empress plus the Temperance and the Lover's card for the whole connection to be known. And before all this came out, the Devil came out, which means we're still in the karmic part, even if this is the divine counterpart. There's still something on the party side that needs to be cleaned up. So what we're looking at is this emperor energy. What they need is self-governance, self-mastery. They need to be self-guided and self-possessed. And once they start making moves towards somebody that's shown them affection, they're going to realize that there was some type of competition, adversarial energy. Honestly, I need to say this because it's been iterated a few times and I bypassed it too many. When they start looking at whomever they're connected to in a authentic light, like looking at them for who they are, what they are, not how they want them to be. When the rose-colored glasses come off, when the Pollyanna or the acquiescence goes away, they're gonna be looking up at a demon. And listen, a demon doesn't always mean evil or from the devil or whatever. Demons actually just mean a one-track mind. Yes, it can give to darkness and shadow and always, but whenever the devil card comes out, it means fear, ignorance, illusion, or falsities. It means a moment of divine choice came, lover's card, and either you chose wrong or you got scared. It could have been that you believed something that really put you on a negative timeline as well. It means that also, if there was a timeline split, you got given the junk timeline, and that thing, that life you could have had, has now started to pass you by. And until you surrender, hangman, until you have things, see things from a different perspective, hangman, until you have illumination and awakening, hangman, you will continue to be on that negative timeline, devil. You're not going to get back to that beloved timeline with the ascended masters and the benevolent ancestors and the exalted spirits, lovers. You're going to stay on that devil energy, the lower vibrational timeline, because of fear, falsities, ignorance, illusion. And that's what I mean. One day, whomever we're connected to, they're going to look up at their friend and they're going to see the devil. It doesn't mean that that person's evil. It can very well be. We had too many eights. Hey, some of us, we're gonna have to be dealing with somebody that did a couple little roots, did a couple little spells, said a couple little few things to a spirit or whatever. Okay, but others of us, we're going to realize that there was a lot of time, energy, attention put into a lot of rumination, oscillation, vacillation, and stupidity, or low vibrational energy, or bottom of the barrel energy, where whomever they're connected to just bound them to being small because they wanted to keep a friend or because they wanted to, feel comfortable instead of feel well. The universe does not care about your comfort. The universe cares about your growth. And opportunities for growth came and they stayed small. Whether it was intentionally, unintentionally, the fact still remains that they stayed small. They stayed small. Probably because they were bound to that person. They were thick and thin with somebody who really wasn't on an ascending path. And when they come back around to it after the fact, when they finally stand up, have self governance, self mastery, when they think for themselves, when they decide for themselves, or when they come from the heart, then they're going to realize, oh, okay, I really went down the wrong path for way too long. And it was right there, right there. It was that moment, that moment. The Nine of Wands is a second look. It's trying one more time. It's feeling weary, but finding you still have a lot of strength left and a little fight left. It's feeling like you deserve something or feeling entitled to something. That's the Nine of Wands. Now we have the King of Cups here with the Three of Wands and the Queen of Cups. You see how the Queen and King of Cups are sandwiching that Three of Wands? So this energy comes back. It doesn't go away because we're the prize, Six of Wands. We're still on our high ground, still on our high horse, still in our exalted status. We get one more card because we have a pair of aces again. Watching. So even though somebody hasn't let us go, so we've blocked this connection out. Here it says fear of losing the old life, physically blocking or ignoring the connection, feels something is missing, but is in denial. Glow up here. I'm working on myself every day. I hope to improve spiritually, emotionally, and to become a better person that deserves you. I'm slowly moving forward in my life, and I hope to reunite with you one day. Naughty thoughts. So at the gate, at the perimeter, is some type of not cherishing but coveting. I cannot help but want you physically, sexually, and mentally. You are all I think about when I am alone. I am lost in my thoughts. The thought of you drives me insane. Fateful encounter, impossible to avoid, big impact on life, important life altering event, questions your belief system. So they're still watching. Even if I am gone, I'm still connected to you in some way. I cannot cut you off completely, but I am afraid to return. My only interaction with you is through your social media, and I miss you. Well, it's very clear. If they don't offer up love, we're not interested. And there's a Gemini sun here or Virgo rising. If there's a Virgo rising, they have Mercury in the first house. This is for the Virgo. I mean, this is okay. Virgo's a split. This is for the Gemini sun or sun in the third house. We still feel some kind of way about it because, again, it hurt. But we did this thing where we're acting like nothing's wrong, and it might be that we just stop coming around or we numb it out. It's made somebody else melancholic because they're hoping for a reunion because they really want to get to the heart of the matter. Now, that reunion card does not always mean romantic. Here, I feel like it does. I want to know why this emperor is supported by all these kings. That they're really putting their thinking cap on. You have the King of Swords, that's technical mastery, intellect, reason, and communication. You have the King of Cups, that's your authentic self, true nature, and that's also some type of spiritual mastery. Yeah, they know they were antithetical to this connection. They know they got in the way of it, and they know that this was a boon, this was a blessing. And it took them to think about it and see how their head is looking towards the left, they're going towards the past, thinking about it. While in the future, they're planning on taking action, not only sudden action too, and it could be big action or strategic action here. Yeah, so it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing us to do so. Let me just pull a quick card. This is a general reading. If you want to know your personal situation, go ahead and book a consult. Sundress, do it for you. Do it for you. So I got two things in that vein. Because then some of us, we didn't want to come out to play or make ourselves acceptable. So we decided to focus on the here and now. That's where we are. Whomever we're connected to, however, their potential is endless, but they were acting small, being small. Whoever's on the periphery, they're asking for forgiveness, but the thing is that they do witchcraft. And witchcraft is not always hocus pocus, abracadabra, out an altar, lighting candles. That could be cursing under their breath, ruminating, oscillating, vacillating in hate, marinating in venom. It could be trash talking other people. It could be being an antagonistic individual consistently. The energy builds up. Okay. So if they throw their weight around with their intentions and they don't sit there and say, hey, how can I support you? How can I be of help? Hey, I see that you're struggling. It's hard for me to watch you be in your feelings about this person when you're not even that close. They never did any of the constructive, supportive energy. It was very pushy. And so I want to say this and end here. Healthy manipulation is actually not manipulation at all. It's either influence or persuasion. Unhealthy influence or persuasion is not actually influence or persuasion at all. It's actually manipulation. The main difference between influence and persuasion is persuasion, you need to be there right now with that person, and it's much more emotional. Influence, you don't have to be there. It could have been a mark that you left on the person, and typically it's intellectual. So if you're pushing somebody around emotionally, that's persuasion. If it's healthy, if it's not, it's manipulation. If you're pushing somebody around intellectually, it's not manipulation, it's influence. Now, influence is about broadening the mind. Persuasion is about shortening all the different options the heart is chasing. So they got with somebody that was using their influence, using their persuasion in the negative, which means it was manipulation. That is a version of witchcraft. Another version of witchcraft is gossiping about a person in the negative light when the things that you aren't saying, when the things that you're saying are not true. That's actually called black magic. Black magic can simply be a smear campaign or a character assassination. It doesn't need to be hocus pocus, abracadabra, strigere benederia, santaria, brujeria, at an altar chanting, lighting candles, howling at the moon. Magic doesn't need to be all that, broomsticks and pointed hats. It could simply be character assassination. It could simply be gossiping when you don't have all the facts. Okay. So this person that we're connected to, they have a witch in their camp. Somebody that does too much with their tongue, and it's a snake tongue. Whether it's intentional or not, it doesn't always need to be malicious or malignant or malevolent, but it is damaging. It is harmful. And so it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure. Take good care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Ciao.